Galatasaray. Cantona for United. And ball, I'm afraid. One thing that Gordon Milne was saying about Turkish football in general is that they don't tend to defend well, and indeed Galatasaray have actually conceded 7 goals in their last 2 games, including the first leg at Old Trafford. Hakan doing well against Bruce and turns it dangerously across the area, and the shot from Tugay deflected away for a corner. Yes, United's most difficult moment.
It was, yeah, and Hakan did well because he was able to turn Bruce and get the ball into the penalty area, and the shot was quite far out. It took a deflection, but certainly Galatasaray's best move of the game so far, because they played. It's been a bit of a scrappy game. It was a good shot, that. It's been a scrappy game, but you know, they've never looked dangerous at all. That was the most dangerous moment.
Robson organises his defenders. Kubilai takes the kick. It's not a bad one. Put it away by Keane. And in attempting to turn it back to Kubilai, Tugay knocked it out of play.
And I think you're right, Alan. They haven't played as well tonight as they did at Old Trafford 2 weeks ago. I mean, I thought their passing that night was absolutely superb. And of course, they took the advantage of getting the goals as well. They looked a very good team indeed.
Suat turning it on towards Hakan. Parker did well against him then. It's a poor layoff there by Giggs. He's having to chase hard to make up for his own error there, and he did so. Manchester United have won all 3 of their matches in League and Cup since the first leg. Galatasaray haven't even played in the fortnight since. Had both their club matches postponed, the first because of international duty, the second because the home federation here wanted to give them every chance possible. Here's Robson. And the cross beaten away for a throw-in. Ryan Robson actually played against this side 14 years ago when he was a West Bromwich Albion player and won 3-1 on this ground. He gets the throw back to Irwin. However, Galatasaray win back possession. Well, the only fireworks we've had so far have all come from the spectators. It's been a low-key sort of match, surprisingly, because of the importance of the occasion, which can hardly be overstated. Purely financial terms, the winners here tonight could benefit by as much as £6 or £7 million if they get into the Champions League stage of the European Cup. Here's Phelan. Over the head of Keane. Hamza. And he vaults the challenge from Ince and has done well here, Hamza. Tugay. He's dangerous. They don't want to give him a sight of goal. And he turns it forward towards Hakan. Danger here for United. And Schmeichel had to scramble to get that away one-handed. Their first real clear-cut opening, and they almost scored.
As you said, in Tugay, that was the one you wouldn't want to get there. And Hakan, he turned again, the United defenders. A good save by Schmeichel.
Here goes Hakan again. That's a great challenge. But Parker has turned it straight back to Kubilai. It's a dangerous-looking cross, and Hakan! Oh, from Schmeichel. If Manchester United make progress in the European Cup this season, that could be the moment.
There is no doubt about that. This really was a magnificent save, or you could say it was an awful miss, but Hakan did everything right, and Schmeichel threw himself, and that was absolutely magnificent save.
Well, Peter Schmeichel has produced a classic piece of goalkeeping to keep Manchester United's hopes alive here. That looked an absolutely odds-on goal for Hakan, the top scorer of Galatasaray. And how did he save it?
And you just feel, Aaron, as well, if had Galatasaray got that goal, you really can't see the way that United are playing, getting two. So really that has been very much an important save.
Cantona took Sharp meantime. Sharp, in the end it was, caught in an offside position, but Schmeichel Well, the first leg of this game was the only time this season he's let in more than 2 goals. He's had a magnificent defensive record, played every game, almost broke the hearts of Galatasaray in that moment. You never believe it. It's got the fans on their feet and cheering again. Here goes Poulet. Again looking for Hakan, cleared by Manchester United, but picked up by Tugay, knocked forward to Kubilai! For the second time in the space of a minute, Manchester United are off the hook. There was no offside decision here. If he'd have scored, it would have counted.
And that was, again, brave play by Schmeichel, coming out to Kubilai. And it just shows you that the absence of Pallister in the last 2 or 3 minutes has been quite crucial. And it's been up to Schmeichel to have saved them from that Kubilai effort. Sort of gaps appearing in the United defence, and you just felt if Pallister was there, you wouldn't have that.
12 minutes to half-time, and Manchester United going through a very rough period indeed here. They almost conceded a goal on 2 occasions. Galatasaray certainly well in front in terms of possession and goal attempts here. But crucially, it's still 0-0. Ayratin awaits the free kick, which will be taken by Bruce. It's hit very deep. Wasn't a bad one, though. Cantona getting up in a good position. Turned away to Hakan. Over his head. And Arif beats Parker to it. Suat's given it away, but did well to win it back. And underlining his anxiety, Alex Ferguson now on his feet on the touchline. And my word, his heart must have been in his mouth in that 60-second period when United could easily have gone a goal behind. Irwin. And Galatasaray are beginning to play again here now. And that's a dangerous ball too. Parker hooks it clear only as far as Kubilai. Brushed aside by Keane, and it was a good challenge. Phelan. Cantona. Robson. Turn forward to Giggs, that's a great ball. Giggs in here! Oh my word, that was so close.
Very unlucky indeed. A good ball from Robson. Giggs took it well. He just sort of didn't hit it. And if he just pulled it back a little bit, he may have picked out Cantona. But that was United's best effort. And United are in a strange position because they know they've got to go out and score a goal if they're going to win the game tonight. And by doing that, you do sometimes leave yourself a little bit exposed at the back, which we saw in the last 5 minutes.
9 minutes to half-time, and it's still 0-0 here in Istanbul. Foul there by Lee Sharp. Yusuf, the player on the end of it. Turned forward by Gertz. Parker heads it clear. Irwin. Well, United need to win this game, but I think it's very important at the moment that they get through to half-time without conceding a goal, because this is Galatasaray's best spell of the game, without doubt. And Hakan rises high again, and another good header, and Arif fails to keep it in play. Goal kick.
Hakan is certainly a handful for the United defence, particularly in the last 10 minutes, where he's won a tremendous amount of headers coming into the penalty area.
Cantona beaten to it by the big German defender, Gertz. And Tugay battling away. What a good player he is, this lad. This is Kubilai, taken off him by Keane. Bruce finds Sharp, but United penned in their own half at the moment. Good kick out by Schmeichel. Giggs trying to get on the end of it. Headed away again by Götze. The long ball from Kubilai. Well spotted by Owen, who keeps going forward here. Yusuf has it. And Manchester United pressurise well then, and they've got to throw it. Cantona. It's all a bit tight on that far touchline, but Sharp has done well. It's a brilliant run. Just denied with the final tackle. Parker. Turned straight back to Sharp by Yusuf. Ince making a forward run, and United force another throw-in. Ince has been holding really in his midfield role rather than getting forward, which he does so effectively. But now he is forward, and it was he who forced this throw-in. Sharp will take it and finds Ince. Kept in play by Ince. And it was a dangerous cross, headed away by Boulet. Now Irwin. Ince and Sharp combining. Onside here, Ince. That's a corner. Six minutes to half-time. And Manchester United's second corner of the half. Greeted again with that chorus of boos and whistles from all around the crowd. Goes in high towards Bruce. Headed away by Götze. Parker keeps possession for United. And then Cantona loses out. Hamza gets it back from Hakan. And then gives it away to Phelan. Hamza will keep the pressure going here on Schmeichel. But that's a good kick by the big Dane over Cantona's head. And just turned away in the nick of time then as Lee Sharp came in threateningly. Yusuf in possession. Hakan. It's a good little layoff. Well read by Bruce, and a very good interception. Finds Cantona. Looking for Sharp or Giggs, but rather overhit the pass. Nonetheless, he forced Boulet into the clearance. And United have another throw deep inside Galatasaray's territory. Robson. Irwin. The cross deflected, and deflected unfortunately away from Cantona. Now Arif. Tugay. Long ball for Hakan was an excellent one. Taken off him by Parker. And that must have been an agonising moment for Parker and Schmeichel as they watch the ball dropping ominously towards their own goal. It's gone behind for a corner. But the skill and vision of Tugay in midfield for Galatasaray is a key factor here. He has the ability to pick men out with those long-range passes. He really is a good player. And he's given United a lot of problems in this first half. Two big central defenders have come forward for the corner. Flashed across the goal mouth. Yusuf. And they're still all forward, including the tall Hakan. And United defended well then. Opportunity for Keane to get forward. Cantona and Giggs ahead of him. And now extra men arriving from midfield, including Robson. Keane. No foul given. Keane felt that he should have had a free kick out of that. Hamza. Tugay. And a foul then by Robson. Sent forward again quickly by two guys, straight onto the chest of Steve Bruce, who finds Eric Cantona. Poor ball by Cantona. A disappointing contribution from him so far. United have a free kick for the foul by Stumpf. Cantona's goal, the third for Manchester United at Old Trafford to bring the teams level. United might easily have lost that night. Header forward there by Ince, but straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
As you say, there's got to be a bit more effort or a bit more something from Manchester United. In the normal circumstances, this performance away from home would be quite good. But the fact is they've got to win it, and what we've seen in this first half so far, they don't look as though they're going to do that and could have easily gone behind. So they've got to get more into the game. Cantona's got to come more into it as well. They've got to get the ball up to him. The first 10 minutes was not too bad, but this last sort of half hour hasn't been too good at all, and not threatening at all.
We're into the final minute of the first half here, as Hamza knocks it forward for Kubilai. Bruce is having a splendid game, and I almost put the curse on him by saying that as he kicks it straight out of play. Galatasaray's throw. One back by Giggs for Manchester United. He's in a difficult position though, and ends up giving it away to Tugay. That's great skill again from him. Parker goes in hard, and it's Ince who gets it clear. Kubilai miskicks, fortunately for United. He's got it back again, and Galatasaray have a throw. Only seconds remaining now to half-time. United have got to keep concentrating. Well, United, apart from those two awful moments when they might have conceded goals to Hakan and Kubilai here, have defended reasonably well, but of course their job tonight involves rather more than that, because Schmeichel and his colleagues have to score to win the tie. A draw is not going to be enough, because I think from what we've seen already, it's highly unlikely they're going to get a 4-all draw. Sharp. Turned forward by Keane. Irwin overlapping, does well to find Cantona. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Challenged there by Robson has upset the referee again. Arif, the player down injured, and most of these free kicks have gone against Brian Robson. He was in doubt, Robson, because of the sinus problem he's been having, and his contribution there has fouled Arif and brought the first half to a close. So Manchester United have reached the interval here in Istanbul without conceding a goal, but crucially also without scoring one. A difficult 45 minutes to come for them. The half-time score, Galatasaray 0, Manchester United 0. And welcome back to Istanbul, where Manchester United's European ambitions, not to mention several millions of pounds, rest on the outcome of the next 45 minutes of football. Galatasaray take the field to huge cheers here, and all around us in the stand, the fans have been saying to myself and Dennis Law at half-time, tell them in England, tell them how good Turkish football is. And I wonder what thoughts must be going through Alex Ferguson's mind as he exchanges a final few words with the captain before the second half gets underway. Manchester United, I think, quite simply, have got to throw caution to the wind and take risks here in the second half, because we have to keep underlining that a draw of any score up to and including 2-2 would be enough to see Galatasaray go through. Basically, Manchester United have got to go out now and try and win this game. If that leaves gaps, well, it's the risk I think they will have to take. So Ferguson's job is done. Once the players have walked over that white touchline, there's nothing more a manager can do. The half-time instructions have been given. The tactical changes perhaps have been made. There are no personnel changes on either side. I can't see any substitutes out there. So the Swiss referee will get the second half underway. And can Manchester United move on into the Champions League to face the likes of Barcelona and AC Milan and Feyenoord and Porto and the other great European sides? Ferguson has said to his players, this is your chance, this is the acid test. Prove to me that you can compete at this level. Prove to me that you want to go on and meet some of the world's great clubs in the Champions League stage. Now they've got a three-quarters of an hour to try and do just that. The first header away by Bruce, deep into the opposition half. Robson picks it up then on the halfway line. Phelan on the far side. Parker playing in that centre-back role because Gary Pallister, as you've seen and heard, is injured. Bruce with the long ball forward to Ince. I think certainly United might have to get more players forward from those midfield positions in the second half. We didn't see too much of Ince, nor indeed Keane, making forward runs. They were occupied more in a defensive strategy than an attacking role. And Cantona, how they could do with a bit of his Gallic magic.
You're right, Al, that's exactly what Manchester United will have to do. I mean, there's no point in going out on a sort of 0-0 draw after maybe, say, 15 minutes of this second half. If nothing's going, they have got to throw caution to the wind. They've got to get their midfield players up, help the front players. They've got to do that and go for the win.
And here they go forward again. That's not a bad ball to Sharp. He had to turn and hit that quickly, Sharp, and didn't really connect. Top scorer for Manchester United this season, of 4 goals in his last 6 games, revelling in the best form of his career at the moment. And the noise starts in earnest again all around this Ali Sami Yen Stadium. This would be the biggest triumph in the history of Turkish football if they could knock out Manchester United, one of the world's most famous football clubs. Hamza gets it clear. Galatasaray won the league championship to take their place in the European club on the final day of last season. They were level on points with Gordon Milne's team, Besiktas, but one on goal difference with an 8-0 away win on the last day of the season. That raised 1 or 2 eyebrows, I can tell you, if you get my drift. But what went into them becoming champions, I know not, but I do know they're a very good side, and they proved that over 1.5 matches here against England's best. Manchester United have forced a corner. Headed away by Yusuf. And the first corner of the half to United. Giggs will take it. To a crescendo of boos. Bruce gets up well, and it almost bounced into the path of Lee Sharp. Hayrettin holds safely onto the ball.
Unlucky that it was a good header by Steve Bruce, and unfortunately for Lee Sharp, he was just about a yard, just too far away. Bruce got up well, nice header, didn't get a great deal of force behind it, but that was Sharp there, just ran away from it.
United under pressure for the first time in this half at the other end, and that took an enormous bounce. Fortunately, at 6'4", Schmeichel was able to deal with it. Turned on then by Giggs. And Giggs, rather like Cantona, 2 enormously talented players, have not really made the contribution United would have hoped for as yet. Parker under pressure now at the other end from Hakan. And he did well to win the ball there. Phelan on the far side as Hakan picks himself up and gets on with it. The little ball then by Giggs to Cantona. It was a poor ball, he didn't give Robson any hope, but Irwin has rescued it, and a fine effort out to Sharp. They've got a lot of players forward here, United, and Suat charged down Sharp's attempted cross, but United have another corner. Suat defends the near post. Sharp will take the kick. Steve Bruce has come forward again. A lot of movement in the box, but unfortunately the kick was still delivered straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
But it's more like United in the second half. They've come out a bit more. They seem to have pushed the midfield up to help the front three, and that wasn't happening in the first half. And the midfield really was not involved. They seemed to be bypassing it, and it must be fair to count on the likes of that. The service that they got in the first half was not good.
Manchester United have won 10 of their last 12 games back home, and altogether 15 wins in 19 League and Cup matches this season. An incredible record, but this is the one they want to win more than anything. Robson. Irwin. And now Sharp. Yusuf closes down the space immediately. 3 players come to provide the barrier. That's how difficult it's been. Indeed, it's even more difficult now because he's adjudged to have fouled little Yusuf. Heaven knows, but it was not Yusuf. In fact, it wasn't the first challenge, it was the second one there on Suat, with the free kick's been given for them. Now the fans break into song again. It's almost orchestrated, the singing and chanting here. One half of the stadium sings part of their favourite lyric, and then the other half of the stadium joins in with the second verse. They really are the most fanatical and noisy fans, and they can be amongst the most volatile as well if things go wrong. Here's Arif for Galatasaray. This looks good. Danger here as Hakan attacks again into the United box. Bruce forced him wide of the danger zone, but he pulls it back nicely for Tugay. Sets it up, and the shot by Suat was always well off target. It's not really his strength.
Good play again by Galatasaray, and Hakan is a threat. Good move it was, but again, the shooting lets them down, and that was an awful shot.
Well, the coach, Rainer Holman, would become one of the great heroes of Turkish football if he can pull off what no one even in Turkey thought was possible, beating Manchester United in the European Cup. Cantona's header. Stumpf gets it clear. Tugay turning it on to Arif. Arif goes down rather belatedly, and the referee, in my opinion, quite correctly, judges that to have been a bit of play acting by the number 7. Something they are prone to do from time to time, these Turkish players. Here he is again. It's a good run this time. Finally he ran into trouble in the shape of Steve Bruce. Not the easiest ball for Ince to try and control there, and Yusuf has taken it from him. Irwin beaten to the header. Tugay. They've got 4 men forward in this attack, and that's a good ball. And Hakan lets it run on to Kubilay. Well, it might have been a clever little dummy. Fortunately for Manchester United, it turned out to be a crucial mistake.
But if Kubilay had read the situation, and he should have done, when Hakan made the dummy there, Kubilay hadn't read it. If he had, that could have been danger for United.
This game really is on a knife edge, because if Galatasaray do score, it would be very, very hard to see Manchester United winning the tie. Hamza attacking, and he has not won the corner he expected. It's a goal kick.
Well, I think you're right there, Alan. I think if Galatasaray did score a goal, then I would feel it would be very, very difficult indeed for United to come back by 2 goals. Even at this score at the moment, 0-0, United have got to play a lot better if they're going to get that. If they're going to get the goal.
Well, remember, these supporters have been here for 6 or 7 hours to get their favourite places on the terraces. Heaven knows what they do when nature calls, but they don't seem to mind. Here's Cantona for Manchester United. Irwin helps it back to him. And he's done well, Cantona, but once again, little Suat comes to rob him. This looks dangerous.